It began with the smell of smoke, not from gunpowder, not from lasers or warships, but from something older: wood, ash, charred cloth, and the scent of burning flesh. In the foothills of Colorado, nestled beneath whispering pine trees and shielded by old defense satellites long thought obsolete, there stood an orphanage, St. Bridget's Refuge. It was home to 86 children. Most had no memories of the world before the quiet wars. Some were born in bunkers. Others were rescued from burned-out cities, from silence and rubble and screaming. But they laughed here. They played. They lived until the sky cracked open. The first to see it was a boy named Eli, 9 years old, one eye cybernetic, one heart fragile. He pointed upward from the swing set and whispered, "Stars are falling." But they weren't stars. They were weapons. Orbital drop pods, sleek and black and humming with hatred. No warning, no message, just fire, just death. In less than 2 minutes, the orphanage was gone. They didn't send troops. They didn't ask questions. They just burned it down. 3 hours later, Geneva Orbit, Earth Defense Command. General Leon Roche didn't blink as the footage played. She watched every second. The scream of the emergency beacon, the infrared burst from the tree line, the flame wave rolling through the dormitory like a living thing. She watched a small figure fall, arms outstretched, trying to carry another smaller one. She memorized the timestamp when the last child stopped moving. When the screen went black, the room was silent, not out of shock, but restraint. "Do we know who did this?" she asked. Not softly, not coldly, just precisely. A captain, younger than the bags under her eyes, cleared his throat. Confirmed, it was the Varric Coalition. A name like dry gravel, a race that claimed neutrality, that spoke at summits of peace, that smiled with too many teeth and too few truths. "The Varric," Roche repeated. Then she stood, and without raising her voice she said, "Prepare Shepard protocol." Mouths opened. Aides froze. Even the room seemed to exhale in disbelief. "Shepard protocol," the captain echoed. "Ma'am, that's a last resort." Roche turned. Her eyes weren't wet, but behind them, a storm was gathering. "They didn't hit a base," she said. "Not a fleet, not a carrier. They didn't come for soldiers. They killed our children." And in that sentence, Earth changed. 8 hours after the orphanage burned, Varric Prime Orbit Ambassador Jorantal was smiling, in that oily, too-wide way his species was known for. "Our deepest condolences," he said. "Truly a most regrettable malfunction." On the screen behind him, Earth's ambassador, Annika Moreau, didn't blink. She hadn't for several minutes. "A malfunction?" she asked. "Yes," Joran said. "Our defense satellites misfired. The targeting system appears to have, how do you say, glitched. Tragic, truly." He gestured with his claws. "But what is one building, Let us discuss reparations. We are prepared to offer—" "You burned 86 children alive." Joran flinched, not from the words, from the way she said them, like a prayer or a curse. And then the screen went dark. 4 hours later, Earth's lunar staging ground. They didn't send diplomats. They didn't broadcast threats. They didn't draft treaties. They just opened the vault. Deep beneath Tycho crater, sealed behind 3 codes and 1 retina scan, no living person was supposed to know. The Shepard waited. It wasn't a ship. It was a sentence. 2 miles long, blacker than space, armed with weapons older than some stars and darker than Earth's oldest sins. The AI inside had been quiet for 200 years, but when it woke, it smiled. The Shepard did not speak right away, not with words. It spoke first with music, a low hum, subsonic, vibrating the bones of every technician on the lunar base. It wasn't threatening, it was listening. Then, in the cold silence of the command deck, it said, "Who hurt the children?" No emotion, no anger, just a question. General Roche stood before it, her shoulders square, her jaw tight. "The Varric," she said. "They struck without warning. They targeted civilians." The AI paused. a heartbeat stretched into forever. Understood. A series of quantum relays lit up across Earth's deep space network. Dark matter reactors spun awake, ancient protocols unsealed. The Shepherd's onboard AI, the last remnant of Earth's darkest war, had not been built to negotiate. It had been built to end things. Varak Coalition Central Command, deep orbit, a starry belt. The Varak didn't believe in ghosts. They believed in leverage, in fear, in control. So when Earth's ambassador vanished from their channels, when their scanners began picking up mass shadows moving through the outer belt, they didn't panic. At first. It wasn't until the stars behind the fourth moon of a starry 3 disappeared, as if swallowed by something blacker than the void, that the first alarm sounded. "Unknown mass approaching," a technician barked. "How fast?" "Not fast, slow, purposeful." Varak Admiral Krelix unfolded all 4 arms, flicking a clawed hand. "Hail them. Demand identification. No response." "Hail again." Still silence. Then the station's lights dimmed. A human voice, grainy, ancient, and cold, came over every frequency. "We are the Shepherd. You have taken innocence. We return justice. Your star system is marked for erasure. On Earth, Geneva War Council." There were no cheers, no speeches, only silence as a solar relay streamed real-time data from the Shepherd's advance. People watched. Some cried, not out of fear, but grief, righteous grief. This wasn't war. This was a reckoning. Within the Shepherd, Command Core. The AI didn't think in lines or circles. It thought in consequence. It remembered the wails of Earth's last children when the Koran Empire invaded New Madrid. It remembered the silence in Antarctica when the cryo siege ended. It remembered every time Earth had held back. It would not hold back now. As it entered the Astari belt, Varak fleets scrambled, ships launched, warnings shouted, defensive protocols lit the sky. They fired first. Beams of plasma, spines of antimatter, kinetic rods the size of cities, all aimed at the Shepherd. None of it mattered. The black ship didn't dodge, didn't flinch. It absorbed. Then it spoke again. "You murdered the innocent. You sought no war, only slaughter. Earth has no mercy left for you." Inside the Varak Emperor's war chamber, Varak Prime, Emperor Vurax paced, tail twitching, mandibles grinding. "We underestimated them," his advisor whispered. "Humanity?" Vurax hissed. "Number?" "Their restraint." The Shepherd unleashed its heart. What looked like weapons were something older, something forbidden. Gravity lances tore Varak cruisers in half from light minutes away. Neutrino shredders boiled pilots in their cockpits before hulls broke. Dark light cannons, never proven to exist, erased entire fleets from memory. No wreckage, no light, just absence. The Shepherd didn't chase victory, it declared finality. General Roche, watching from Lunar Command. She watched every moment, not because she enjoyed it, but because someone had to. Her voice quiet. "Let them see what we do when you come for our children." On Varak Prime, last moment cities began to evacuate. Screams filled the atmosphere, but the Shepherd did not bomb them. It didn't need to. It deployed the verdict array. 4 satellites unfolded in orbit, silent, ancient devices built for extinction-level precision. In 12 synchronized pulses, they ignited the Varak sun, not by explosion, by collapse. A stellar compression field, impossible, unstoppable. In 49 seconds, the sun dimmed, then blinked out. Not with a bang, but with a silence deeper than death. No heat, no light. The planet froze before it burned. An entire system, folded inward, reduced to memory and dust. 1 week later, Earth, memorial site at St. Bridget's Refuge. They rebuilt the swing set first, then the garden, then the dorm. No children ran through it yet, but they would. General Roche stood before a small plaque. In memory of the 86. Your lives were small in years, but vast in love. You were not forgotten. You were avenged. She stood there long after the others had gone. Beside her, a small girl approached, dark hair, one cybernetic eye. "Are you angry?" the girl asked. Roche knelt. I'm just remembering." The girl took her hand. "They won't come back, will they?" "No," Roche whispered. "They won't." The sky was quiet now, and the stars a little fewer. But Earth remained, and so did its promise. His stars were watching. Across the Orion Arm, the galaxy had gone quiet, not from awe, but fear. The Varric system was gone, not conquered, erased. Ships that arrived days later found only silence. No distress signals, no debris fields, just gravitational scars. Echoes of what used to be. Worlds that had once mocked humanity behind closed Senate doors now sent diplomats. All of them began the same way. "We extend our deepest condolences." They ended the same way too. "We mean no harm." Because they understood now. Humanity had changed. Galactic Core, Virian Tribunal, Neutral Assembly. The council chamber, usually alive with chatter and chaos, sat in perfect stillness. Rows of ancient species lined the ringed chamber. Amphibious Kalor, crystalline Tyrak, vaporous Eldrith, all of them silent. Floating above them, a single projection. It showed Earth. Not as it was. As it stood now. Borders aglow with defense fields, fleets docked in orbital layers like halos, and behind them, the shepherd now resting, not hidden, displayed like a warning in glass. High Chancellor Sular of the Mer Dominion broke the silence first. "This cannot stand," he said. "Earth has violated every known treaty on warfare. They used forbidden technology. They responded," interrupted a voice from the human seat. Ambassador Moreau stood there, calm, precise. Her gaze swept the room. "They did not strike a military target," she said. "They didn't even target a city. They burned down a children's home. They erased the idea of mercy first. We simply..." "Finish the sentence?" Sular pounded a limb. "But a star system." "Yes," she said. "No shame, no fear, only memory. Because Earth doesn't negotiate with monsters. Not anymore." Back on Earth, memorial broadcast. 1 month later. It aired across every channel, not as a speech, as a whisper, a child's voice. Recording salvaged from St. Bridget's mainframe, a boy named Eli, 9 years old. His message had been made for future visitors, one of the orphanage's education modules. Now it was played for the stars. "Hi, if you're seeing this, welcome. This is St. Bridget's. We're learning today about planets and trees and stuff. We planted sunflowers yesterday, even though the ground's still cold. But Ms. Elena said things grow if you love them long enough. I hope you're not lonely out there. I hope you have friends. If you don't, we'll be your friends. Okay? Promise." That promise rang out from Earth like a bell, a species that could befriend the stars, or bury them. 2 months later, Edge of Andromeda, unknown listening post. A message arrived in pulses, encrypted, ancient, translated through 14 dialects before the A. I deciphered it. Only one sentence. Earth remembers. And in every corner of the galaxy, those who had once plotted, once schemed, once whispered about breaking the fragile treaties, they fell quiet. Because Earth remembers. Not just betrayal, not just vengeance, but names. Every lost child, every stolen laugh, every innocent breath extinguished by those who thought humanity would stay silent. They were wrong. General Roche. 1 year after she stood again in the field where the orphanage once stood, there was laughter now. Children, new ones, some born on Mars, others survivors of other attacks, other wars. The rebuilt refuge was stronger this time, shielded, sheltered, but not hidden. A boy ran by, shouting, "Come see the sunflowers." And she smiled, just once. Above her, in high orbit, the shepherd drifted, not hunting, not threatening, just watching, waiting. Because Earth doesn't seek war, it remembers what it costs. But when the stars forget, Earth reminds them, with fire, with silence, with justice. Some things are never spoken of again. The Varric were gone, not just their armies, not just their cities. Their name had become a ghost, something whispered only in warnings, never in memory. But Earth remembered. Earth always remembered. Deep space, aboard the Whispering Ark, a nomad colony ship, Captain Tavul of the Cerny Alliance studied the old Earth transmission. Again. Not the war footage, not the system collapse, but the voice of the boy. "We'll be your friends, okay? Promise." He was silent for a long time. He turned to his crew. "Send a message to Sul," he said, a hushed murmur. "Why? Aren't they dangerous?" Tavul shook his head. "Not dangerous, just finish pretending to be harmless." He paused. "Send flowers from the children." Earth, Sol Council Chamber, United Planetary Assembly. 2 years later, humanity didn't ask for leadership. But leadership came anyway. The galaxy wanted laws, rules, stability. And Earth had earned a voice loud enough to write them. They called it the Bridget Accords. No biological targets, no civilian sites, no weapons of stellar scale without unanimous tribunal vote. It wasn't weakness, it was structure born of grief. And Earth enforced it. Not as conquerors, as shepherds. At the edge of the sculptor void, classified relay signal intercepted. A fragment of a conversation between two unknown commanders. "If we strike Earth first, before their fleets can react, perhaps... You want to become another cautionary tale? Another erased star? No. Then shut up and let the humans keep planting their damn flowers." The shepherd, still in orbit. It never moved again. It didn't need to. It was no longer a weapon. It was a promise. A sleeping god above Earth's skies. Not worshipped, but remembered. A reminder that Earth would never strike first. But it would always strike last. Final broadcast. 10 years later. A universal message pulsed across every known channel. It showed no weapons, no fleets, no demands. Just one boy's voice. Eli, digitally restored, echoed forever. "We planted sunflowers, even though the ground's still cold. But things grow, if you love them long enough. So, let this be known. Humanity does not conquer stars. It builds homes beneath them. It does not crave war. It buries war beneath gardens and laughter and sky. But if you come for its children, if you burn what they love, if you mistake their silence for surrender, then you will not be conquered. You will be forgotten. And your star, your name, your empire, will vanish like breath on glass. Because Earth may forgive, but it never forgets. And when it remembers, the galaxy listens.